to like a few bullet points for the budget statement for everybody's benefit. So these are just highlights, bullet points. Today we have outlined the two-track strategy in some detail. Communities can now see that the vision morphs into a strategy, and the strategy manifests itself into reality. Bermuda will meet its goals of returning to overall growth with an investment stimulus of about $930 million over 3 years, while at the same time breaking the back of the government deficit, which will pave the way for the reduction of debt. We are introducing yet another new finance rule. And the rule is that borrowing may only be considered for capital expenditure, and all current expenditure must be financed from current revenues. And this is a signal of our commitment to return Bermuda to its prudential roots. Clearly, we're not meeting that criteria yet. It is a statement of an objective for us to return to our prudential roots. Another highlight is that the government intends to have a balanced budget within 3 years. That's our goal. The government intends to establish also an international independent committee to review, monitor, assess, and publicly report on the fiscal progress of this government. So far as the budget itself is concerned, the budget seeks to decrease expenditure by $33.1 million, or 3.5%. On the revenue side, revenues are forecast to rise by 3.3%, or $29.6 million. The current account balance before debt service is budgeted to be a surplus of $18.5 million for the first time since the fiscal year 2007-8. Of course, we will still be in an overall deficit. The overall deficit is budgeted to be $220 million, a reduction of $47.3 million, or 17.7%. The revenue increases are a result of increased taxes. The standard rate of payroll tax will be increased to 14.5%. That's up 0.5%. The rate of tax recoverable from employees will be set at 5.5%. That's up from 5.25%. This is so that the increase may be shared by both employer and employee. The current payroll tax concessions for hospitality, restaurant, and retail sectors will be partially rolled back with these businesses in these sectors paying a rate of 5.5%. Now, all of the payroll tax increases will aggregate to $353 million. The duty on fuel will be raised by 5 cents per liter. That will yield the government $9.6 million. Land tax on commercial properties will increase from 4.4% to 5.5%. That should yield $4.1 million. Corporate service tax rate will be increased from 6% to 7%, yielding an additional $1 million. The airport tax will be increased from $35 a head to $50 a head, yielding an additional $5.5 million. The forecast reduction in current spending is estimated at 3.5%, as the furlough will not be renewed. A renewal of the furlough would have enabled us to meet our 5% target. However, we will be endeavoring to make further savings that have not been included in this budget. The reason is some of these savings are kind of unknowable. For instance, the effect of moving the early retirement age package from 60 years to 55 years is unknowable. We just have to see how many people take it up. So the other areas that we are tightening up is that the Ministry of Finance will be monitoring much more closely, according to SAGE Commission recommendations, spending control during the year, and we are certain that this will result in some further unbudgeted spending reductions. Those are the bullet points, and we will be happy to answer any questions.